after that monologue, they felt almost deeper because by the arduousness of this journey. They felt it was a fun. But the real English of this metaphysical implication is available now. Look at the lines. Then at dawn, we came, this is the tablet, then at dawn we came down to a temperate valley, just below the snow line, smelling of vegetation. The words that draw our attention are, number one, dawn, which happens to be the passage beyond the darkness of night. Then there is down to the temperate valley. This indeed is in progression. And the temperate valley is west. So there is a possibility of regeneration. It's not a dry land-like situation now, next month. And the other most important is the smelling of vegetation, which is very apparent. That the condition or the range of mind the travelers have entered in their own psyche has a wet ground, has a possibility of regeneration because it is a smelling vegetation. These are all metaphoric way of suggesting that probably the travelers are approaching the limits of the divine. They wanted to go and see Christ in the river because they wanted to pay their obeisance to the divine figure. These are images, therefore, of possibility of regenerative nature. The dawn is there. If I summarize it, I can say these are the images of a rebirth or a birth. I will say both. Both the birth and the rebirth. Rebirth because it is followed. Okay? And birth again because after death there is a birth. It's a running stream and the water will be in the darkness. Look at the description of this area of vegetation. The smelling of vegetation with a running stream and the water will be in the darkness. There could be multiple allegorical interpretations of this water will. One reminds me of Eliot's personal experience of a certain small town railway station where he used to get down. Okay? And outside the railway station, even in the darkness of night, there used to be 5-6 gamblers. It's a very common sight in and around the railway station. The lawyers, the vagabonds, the gamblers, okay? And all sorts of, unlawful people. They keep themselves engaged in their own business. So outside the railway station, there was a spot near the water mill. And there they found that 5-6 gamblers used to sit together and play cards with money as well. One image, therefore, is having one interpretation of this image is allegorically connected with the personal experience and the voice of imagery that Eliot himself has drawn out of his own personal context. So there is some personal locate, number one. Secondly, this running stream is in fact the motion of time. The running stream is indeed time. And we have seen how they have entered a dawn. That means time is progressing with the possibility of meeting the princess of the divine as the travelers were willing to have. The running stream and the water mill beating. Beating the darkness is also beating time. And beating the darkness is because there is a possibility of a bright sunrise. New morn metaphorically transforming the individual from one step of belief to another. As I have already given you the clue, the alien himself was in this 1927 transformed into a different state of revelation. This is a new morn, therefore. Moving on. Dawn has arrived. There is a smelling vegetation all around. The valley is wet, so there is always the possibility of a sun. This is a river. This is in fact the river of a Savior. Christ himself was a Savior. Christ was crucified. Christ was a reborn. Resurrection took place. Therefore, it's a rebirth of the Savior. In a way. And the water mill, as I said, is the location where the personal association with Eliot's perception of that particular place. Where they used to watch and see the gamblers playing cards. People standing from their window could see those gamblers getting the night playing cards. The small candlelight. So the stream is running, time is going. Water mills are beating. This is a personal image I said. But this beating of time gradually is approaching the moment of incarnation or reincarnation. So the concept of regeneration of Christ after crucifixion is always lingering in the back. And he is on the low sky. He is on the low sky. These are straight images of the three crosses that were put on Golgotha. That was the Calvary mountain where Christ was crucified. But remember, Christ was not crucified alone. There was not only one cross on which he was put. On one cross, Christ was put. On two other crosses, two benefactors were also put. So the crucifixion was accompanied by two benefactors, the believers of in Christ. So the three crosses, they look like trees. Three trees on the top of Golgotha, okay, on the top of Calvary, and the lowest sky. That is the entire universe. This is a transcending span. That means the whole covering span of this universe, the lowest sky. This is indeed the image of Christ's crucifixion along with his benefactors. So the three trees on the low. Future is unknown. It is also unknowable, and yet it becomes knowable because there is a possibility of a new dawn, of a new future. The image of crucifixion has been multiplied by the three trees on the top of Golgotha. That is in fact the price. Christ has paid for the sake of humanity. The three crosses on Golgotha are like three trees. And an old white horse galloped away in the middle. Look at it. It's a description of a very nice green world, possibility of wetness inside the earth to promise certain kind of vegetation. And the image that crosses through this meadow, the green grassy land, is the image of a white horse. Now this is another allegorical difficult allegory which the poet has used. Because it is supposed that Christ is symbolized by the white horse rider. The horse rider was passing through the meadows, means Christ was battling against the forces of evil, and he did it successfully. White horse is symbolic of the purity, the chastity, the beauty, above all, the white radiance of the divine. And therefore, the rider of the white horse is none else but Christ himself. So these are all possible images. Imagine, these are all metaphors that the three travelers are going from the east, the wise men, to Bethlehem to see Christ, bless him, okay, and have their own blessings. And the landscape of their mind has been presented in these images. The landscape is now of greenery, of hope, of wellness, of vegetation. The smell is all around, and the landscape, the image is that a white horse has been galloping across the green, grassy meadow. So the central metaphor is the white horse, symbolizing Christ, because Christ is supposed to be battling against the forces of evil, conquering it, and crossing the middle, galloping away in the middle. Then we came to a tavern. Who are we? We are the travelers. And they have now arrived to a tavern. Passing through these landscapes in their minds, they seem to have arrived at the gate of the tavern, because Christ was born in a tavern. There was no room for Mother Mary in the inn, so he was littered out. He was born in a very shabby condition. So they now approached the tavern, and the tavern is covered with ivy plants, promising immortality. Ivy itself is a symbol of immortality. And so the lintel is described, the window is described, the doorway to the cupboard is described, the place where exactly Christ was born. So then we came to a cupboard with vine leaves over the lintel. This is a vine leaf. As if the green leaves of grapes and other ivy plants, they are all creepers covered. 6 hands and an open door, dicing for pieces of silver. That's another metaphor. The entire thing is allegorically changed. Imagine there may be 6 people sitting at the gate of the tavern. But that is not the image. The image is basically reminding us of the betrayal of Christ by the Judas. One possible interpretation is that the Judas betrayed Christ only for 30 pence. 30. That was the point. So they received devil Christ in fact, and they betrayed Christ. You remember, the crow was the only creature that started crowing when the betrayal took place. You remember that? I wanted to. So the betrayal of Christ by the Judas was at the cost of 30 pences, remember. And 6 people also reflect, the people remember when Christ was crucified, it's a very direct way, when Christ was crucified, 2 things were looked for very hankeringly, passionately. One was the bowl in which he had the Last Supper. The Holy Grail. And the other thing was that the watchmen who were waiting for Christ to die, and when Christ will be brought down from the cross, who will take the dress of Christ? So they were drawing lottery. And everybody wanted to possess the dress of Christ, because that was a symbol of most auspicious nature, the divine grace. So they said, who will take it? And they were quarreling over it. And they wanted to decide, they were quarreling dice. Right here. Playing dice, reflecting the previous image of 6 gamblers sitting together playing for money. Okay? And then Judas also played a foul trick against Christ by taking bribes. So all these images collide together, but ultimately the one image that remains constant is that of the wife of the walking across the middle. So each one is willing to have the garb, the dress of Christ, drawing lottery almost. So when we came to the tavern with wine leaves over the lintel you understand? Every house has a lintel. And this is lintel. The beam you mark it? Yes. Where the door is constructed. This is lintel. Yes. So the house is constructed up to the lintel level. Then it rises above the lintel level. Then it goes to the roof level. So lintel is the base. Lintel is the door. The top of the door of the tavern where the 3 travelers have reached. So 3 trees on the low key, an old white horse, the last of it the windows. Then we came to a tavern with wine leaves over the lintel, 6 hands at an open door. 3 people, 6 hands, 3 people, drawing lottery as to who will take the dress of Christ, the robe of Christ, I should say. Door, dicing for pieces of silver. Dicing for 2 things. One, that they have already accepted 30 pieces of silver and they betrayed Christ to them. And then they were also drawing lottery in order to make the fruitful gain out of it. So betrayal of Judas from 30 pieces of silver is now identified almost in a brotherly fashion with the people who were drawing lottery or playing a game of the dice with silver. The appearance of the white horse in the green meadows, there Magi, the fading of the pagan religion. Remember, paganism, the white horse moves into the widow, gets this image lost. It's not a loss of sight of demand. This is the end of paganism and the rise of the Anglican Church. I told you in the beginning, it's in fact the journey into a new fold of belief, because atheism itself was transformed. This is in fact a change, not exactly a change of the religion, but change of faith, from one order of faith. This is also a discipline. Remember this. Herbert has beautifully written it, using a metaphor of collar. Every shirt has a collar. The collar symbolizes spiritual discipline because the collar puts the neck in order. So the collar is a metaphor of spiritual discipline. Here the dress is a metaphor of spiritual discipline. The reclined finger. So that is another meaning. But the ultimate meaning is that there is a transfer from one collar of faith to another collar of faith. That is one discipline of faith to another discipline of faith. And in this transcendence, the image that crosses through the middle, the green, practically, but there is a possibility of regeneration. So there is no dying here. There is a possibility of rebirth and growth. And so paganism is now under the onslaught of Christianity. That is the ultimate perception. Paganism is under the onslaught of Christianity. This is the end of an old order of belief and the possibility of a new order of belief, alias to what the beautiful example is. So the end of the old order of belief and the possibility of a new order has been suggested through the fifth hand at an open door, dicing 4 pieces of silver, and feet kicking the empty wine skins. But there was no information. So we continued and arrived that evening at a moment too soon, finding the place it was. You may say that is very important thing is the wine skin. It still has so many legal interpretations. The simple thing is that we all know those phrases like old wine in the new bottle, the new wine in the new bottle, old wine in the old bottle. These are all different connotations in conversation. But all these images of the wine are basically related to when you see this miraculous display that Christ himself has done in one of the marriages at Cana of Galilee. That people gave glasses of water to Christ, and Christ transformed the water into wine. So that was a miracle Christ himself had performed when he was alive. So this transformation of water into wine is in fact that regenerative force, and therefore wine is never a source of intoxication in Christian conception. Okay? It's always a source of revitalization. It's in fact the blood, red blood turns into the wine. So when we think of the Holy Grail, where we see that each drop that fell from the crucifixion of Christ is object in that Holy Grail, because each drop of Christ is turned into infinite reservoir of wine, which people are drinking. So it's intoxicating mankind with a spiritual power. So if wine gives you any kind of feeling high, I'm using it in the word high. So if you have any high, it's a spiritual high. You achieve with taking the wine. Because the wine in fact reflects the color of Christ crucified. That's what Christ was said and not understand. That charmed Milton, because Milton never celebrated Christ crucified. He always thought of Christ who was indeed the person who was willing to fight for the remedy of sin. So Christ fighting is the spirit that Milton appreciates, not Christ crucified. Just imagine, there are two different perceptions of the same thing. But here there is a crucifixion, because it's only through the crucifixion that the new birth is possible. Regeneration will be possible. Christ's resurrection will be possible. That is the faith that leading to birth, leading to death, like the order of it. So that is how he wants to suggest. Empty wine is still. As if it is a still in the water in which we put the wine. Very simple. But the belief is that if you put the old wine in a a new bottle, maybe the new bottle will not be able to bear it. The new bottle may crack, and therefore the wine will pour. It will go out, okay, and flow, and will be wasted. So it is preferred to put the new wine in a new bottle instead of putting it into an old bottle. Now, the bottle is simply an order of faith, okay, and the wine is in fact your faith. So this order, one order was left by Eliot, and he joined another, and we can church it. This transfer is in fact putting in new wine into a new order or a new bottle, not just putting the new wine into an old bottle. So old bottle stands for old order, new bottle stands for new order, and new wine is the new faith. So new faith has to be put in the new bottle. This is what we say. Kicking the empty wine is sinful, but there was no information. So this indeed was the necessity to inform yourself that this new wine needs a new bottle, and that the faith changed into Anglicanism or Anglican faith, which is entered or taken baptized in was Eliot's own faith. So old, worn out Jewish traditions are in fact overstepped by Christ. As I said, that the thought developing was a passing away of pagan philosophy, and sustenance was given to Christianity. Paganism was fading, Christianity coming in. Similarly, old wine and new bottle, just imagine, new wine and new bottle is indeed, this is the end of that Jewish tradition of faith into or dying into the Christian tradition of faith. So Christianity is trying to temper those rough edges of Jewish temperament or tradition, which were not conducive to humanity, and therefore paganism has to be put to farewell, and new Christian order must come up. Similarly, this old Jewish tradition has to be left far behind. New tradition, which is Christian tradition, Anglican tradition, where there is both possibility of a diversified dramatic projection of reality and emotion, which Eliot had the reason. Why, after all, did he go for it? It was for this, because he believed that his real intellectual creative force will never find absolute expression in this order, which was more conservative. So he wanted a more liberal order, where he could express himself more freely in different forms of art. So manifestation of Eliot's religious energy or faith in different forms of art is indeed hidden here, when he is changing his own old faith into a new faith. That means new wine is being put in a new wine. So seeking the empty wine is killed, but there was no information. So we finally continued and arrived that evening. Remember, so the journey of the travelers has now come almost to an end, because they have reached the tavern where Christ was born. And this is probably the new encounter with a new faith, with a new vision, putting your neck in a different spiritual color, that is order. And arrived that evening, not a moment too soon finding the place. So it hardly took them any time to find the right place. They discovered it, and they say, then the arduous journey has now ended into a note of satisfaction. It was satisfactory. So, earlier we have seen the journey was very difficult. The journey was very difficult. The lines from Bible presented them in a metaphorical fashion. The monologue-like commentary enlightened them more elaborately, and the images that followed were the images of white fox galloping the radiance of the green earth, just imagine. And then the other corroborative things in between, the topographical notations are present. It's almost like a topography of thought. Remember this. It's not a description of a place. It's a topography of religious faith, changing topography. One order fading, another coming. Paganism fading, Christianity coming. Just imagine. So this is how Anglicanism is coming now. This is the topography, and in that topography, ultimately, there is a note of satisfaction. That the man who has transferred himself, who has undertaken the journey, has now reached the tavern in the river, because the place where Christ was born is the seat of nativity, the seat of Christianity, the seat of spiritual power. So this is the transfer, and each one looks like a man, a wise man, a riverside. So the Magi has now reached metaphorically a state where they experience communication, all these things are promising notes of the future, flourishing notes of the new order of Christian faith. The last part is the part of the protagonist of this story. The first part, Matthew's word. The second part is a commentary of the three wise men. Monologue. The third part is in fact the real protagonist. We are here. We are here. Because we are, metaphorically, in a way, symbolically, we are also the travelers. We are also the travelers, but we have limitations. We do not have that kind of spiritual essence that the three wise men from the east have. Okay? And we do not have that kind of promise, and we are not simply going to change our religion from one to another. But the question arises, what exactly is the predicament of the heart of the man? Look at the protagonist, how he is. The protagonist is you and I. The protagonist is you and I, the whole of humanity, the contemporary man, in fact the modern man. All this was a long time ago. So whatever was described earlier happened a long time ago. When Christ was born, when the three wise men moved from east to Jerusalem, you remember that? And when they were moving, the only thing in their mind was the words of Matthew, because Matthew had promised Christ as a bride. Is that clear? The Superman has taken birth, and so the God's promise to redeem the miseries of mankind is going to be fulfilled. So whole humanity is now moving towards Jerusalem. Three wise men represent three different continents of this universe moving towards Jerusalem. But the man now here is bewildered to find all these things happened long time. The past now entering into the present. The present is full of crisis. All this was a long time ago, I remember. And I would do it again. But this may be repeating. I told you, the circularity of human existence and the experiences of transfer of one order of faith to another order of faith. This is in fact a constant journey. Changing all the time. So all this was a long time ago, I remember, and I would do it again. But steps down, this, how shall we do it again? That's the question inherent. There is a resolution. There is a voice. And we shall do it again. Everything happened earlier, and we shall do it again. We will repeat it. That's automatic. That's how. That's a very big question. And so the protagonist feels confused. Absolutely confused. In a state of mystic confusion, the fellow says, and I would do it again, but steps down, this, as if the language ceases, as if there is no flow, as if the thought is populated, as if there is absolute mystery occupying the mind. How shall I do? He cannot explain, he does not know how to. But he does have a resolution to do. So there is a hope, there is a will to seek salvation. But how to achieve that salvation? That is the mission. So this is a mysterious. This seeker, I make it very simple. The protagonist of the seeker in this poem here is absolutely confused. And this state of confusion is indeed the shadow of the mystic state of the existence. So this steps down this. Where we led all that way, what for it? This is confused. Where did we travel? If we travel, put yourself in the position of the three wise men traveling. Where did we travel? What did we find? Did we go waiting for the rebirth of Christ? Or did we go for the death of Christ? Because even death was promising for the rebirth. And it becomes mysterious for anybody to decide as to death was more preferable than birth, or birth was more preferable than death. So it becomes a mysterious question, and the confusion is a state of mind where we led all that way for birth or death. What was our objective? The man questions himself. A paradoxical question about life, birth or death. Christ was born, Christ died, we travel for a new generation of our faith, if we think it comes for the transfer of order, it's spiritual order. It's a continuous process. So it becomes a paradoxical perception. Where we get all that way for birth order, there was a birth certainly. Somebody asked any individual, what are you looking for? Are you looking for birth or death? What are you looking for? The meaning of birth or the meaning of death? Of course, yes. But birth, I can assure. There was a birth. I am here. There must be a birth. So he is contemplating. He is trying to understand. What am I looking? Am I looking for the significance of birth? Or am I looking for the real meaning of death? Then he starts analyzing his question with this perception. What first thing I can say? There was definitely a birth. Look at the knife. I have seen birth. There was a birth, certainly. We had evidence and no doubt. There is no doubt that there was a birth. Birth of humanity, birth of Christ, birth of existence, the synergy, and the death is also promised because without death, birth will never be finished. I have seen birth and death. So I have seen birth and death. This is all the chain of humanity. It's not one individual. I is individual, first person, singular, no doubt. But it represents the whole chain of humanity. That I was born, that I died, that I will be reborn. That happened metaphorically in case of Christ. I have seen birth and death, but have thought they were different. How were they different? How was Christ's death different from my death? I was born, I'm sure. And I also died. Because if I did not die, how was I born again? I was born. But it's sure. This is also sure. But there must be a difference between the death of an individual protagonist, we, common man, sinners in a way, and the death of Christ. Because we cannot interpret it in the same fashion, in the same vocabulary. The death must be different. And then the man realizes his limitations. Okay, my death may be a difference to me. It cannot be a difference to humanity. But Christ's death is a difference to humanity. Correct? Yes? So he gives a different kind of credence to death of Christ because it makes a difference to the whole of humanity. My death may be a matter of pain of certain number of people, individuals, very small. But when Christ's death is being looked at, the whole humanity feels that death. That is how the death of an individual and the death of a faith, symbolized by Christ, are two different deaths. And the impact of the death is also different. So the meaning of death also changes. And this also indirectly affirms the limitation of humanity, that man lives, he died. He too was born, he too will die. As Christ was born, Christ will die. And he has died. So the death of Christ is a loss of humanity, for humanity. And my death is not a loss for the whole. Philosophically, we are related with Christ because Christ's death is my death. My death is Christ. That's why so the question remains, what are we looking for? Where are we looking for birth? Or looking for death? Looking for the significance of birth or significance of death. There was a birth, certainly. We had evidence and no doubt. I had seen birth and death, but had thought, probably I was mistaken, I had thought they were different. And when we examine, we really find the difference. So this birth was hard and bitter agony for us, like death. Means our birth was as agonizing as death. This is truly real man of the wasteland speaking. That this birth is no less painful than death. But the birth of Christ is not that. Similarly, the death of Christ is not the same. Look at the voice of humanity here. The protagonist says, this birth was hard and bitter. Because we entered into the arena of this bitterness, the agony of life. Bitter agony for us. Like death. As agonizing as death could be. Our death. This is in fact our death, not the death of. Not the birth of, not the life of. It was a life of absolute bliss all the time. Okay? But is the distinction as well as the kind of mutation that humanity takes. Humanity takes into the process of the spiritual development. So you become graduation. So this is how vocation takes. So this much was hard and bigger agony for us. Like death are death. We return to our places, these kingdoms, but no longer as here. Remember, so when we were born, past humanity, we were born, we died, we returned to these places since we have been rotating into the sphere of this universe time and again, coming to one kingdom, going to another kingdom, sometimes born in India, sometimes in America. I don't know. Don't go to America. So the question is our life death. The first was heart and bigger agony, like death, our death. We return to our places, these kingdoms. These kingdoms of existence. Humanity has been moving through phases of birth and death, in the cycle of birth and death, which is also represented through that, you remember the wheel image, the wheel of time, the wheel of fortune, the wheel of life and death. And these are all echoing images and metaphors, ultimately suggesting the continuity and constancy of existence. Passing through different stages of agony or joy, agony or bliss, agony or bliss. They are the two different of the same thing. But for Christ, it was all blissful, because Christ didn't have the pain of death. If I could understand it, he didn't have the pain of dying because he chose death, he chose crucifixion for the sake of humanity. Probably his crucifixion is a reliever of pain. Crucifixion of Christ is a reliever of pain because it relieves humanity of its own misery. Okay, so death becomes the location of pain, and pain becomes the location of bliss. Christ's pain is man's bliss, because man is relieved of the pain for the misery. The misery of life, the pain of other things of life. So this is our death. Has bigger agony for us, like death, our death. We return to our places, these kingdoms, but no longer as is here. But the agony has not stopped. The chain of humanity is passing through one stage of agonizing life to another stage of agonizing life, and so it keeps on moving. It is on the move. It is on the move from one set of existence to another set of existence, one place to another, one kingdom to another, one perception of life and birth to another perception of life and birth, ultimately one phase to another phase. This is something. So, this kingdom, but no longer as is here. In the old dispensation, why? When you come to a new place, you don't feel comfortable with your old place and belief. Look at it. This is the crisis. That even aliens think in terms of aliens. It's easy to understand. That if aliens change his religious faith, he wasn't feeling comfortable in the new world with the old dispensation. This dispensation is the set of the mind. It's the culture of the mind. So the kind of faith that he nourished in his mind, if he enters a new world of faith, okay, new order of faith, with the old faith, probably it will not be possible for him to survive. Okay? That is why old wine cannot live in new bottle. A new bottle will contain new wine. Okay? Only it is therefore helpful for the wine and the bottle both. Otherwise the bottle will crack, the wine will go down. So it is necessary for the wine and the bottle both to have a matching, symphonic, existential reality, identifying their real spiritual urge or mind. Just imagine. So the wine, which is a spiritual power, and the bottle, which is the order of that spiritual faith, must match with each other. So old disposition of mind will not be comfortable. He won't be comfortable with old disposition of mind in new set of mind. But no longer as he is here in the old dispensation, that is old religious order. With an alien people clutching their gods. Remember, if the alien people are clutching their gods, you will have to release your gods. I'm reminded of a beautiful statement about conversion. Please don't mistake the context. Christianity believes in conversion. There are many religions in the world that believe in conversion. But Christ says that there are two possibilities. One, that when you convert to another set of will have to leave all your traits, characteristics, mind, position, disposition of the mind. Only then you will be truly activated and truly grown. Otherwise, it will carry the shadows of the past, but it will be very uncomfortable. Something like cold wine seen in you. Could you get it? And this wine indeed is the whole content of your faith. The content of your faith. The bottle is the form of your faith. Could you get it? The relationship between content and form. Now, that is the form. There is a story inside. The content is in fact the religious faith, and the bottle indeed is the form in which this content has to be admitted. The relationship between the two has to be harmonious. It is clear that you need not to clutch upon your old God. Don't clutch upon your old God. Christ has very clearly said it in some of the passages in Bible. He has very clearly said that you need to leave all your brothers, sisters, mother. Just imagine the entire hereditary tradition you have to put and invest there. Only then you can really be a true convert, because only then you will have your own content put in a new. So this is only one of the preconditions of conversion. No longer at least here in the old dispensation. It's an alien people clutching their God. I should be glad for another death. It's a wonderful sentence. Most paradoxical. I should be glad for another death. I believed in one set of faith, one order of faith. I changed it, joined another order of faith. So first order of faith, I was born in that order. I lived with that order. The order died. And then I start a new birth because I have joined a new order of faith. It was so. And I should wait for another death. I should wait. I personally feel that there is a deep-seated, absolute Upanishadic echo here of the entire Oriental philosophy here. That's why we in Oriental perception, this is never a matter of faith. This is never a matter of faith. To weep on somebody's death is probably a myopic vision of humanity. We start weeping because we are caught in the web of Maya. Just imagine. We have illusions, we have hallucinations, we have in fact attachments, okay? And we believe that my mother has died and so I must weep, my friend has died, I must weep. Tears about darkness. These are all notations of the same illusion, hallucinations and different notations of Maya. Ultimately, it is Lord Shiva's condition at Manikarnika, for example. He always keeps on smiling over there. Whoever comes in his dead body, he never weeps. This is the transcendence. And therefore, the climate of the mind of the divine never changes. It's this eternity, this plane of eternity, it remains over there. The white radiance remains white. Christ comes, Christ goes, Christ disappears, riding a horse, white enough. Green meadows, just imagine the meadows that promise you new vegetation. There is wetness all around, possibility of growth, because you believe here I can have a good habitation. In this way, here is a world order, here is a religious space where I can plant myself. You feel, but where there you plant yourself, you live the life, because life and death is a permutation combination, it's a kind of rotation, time itself. So you remember, the watermill beating time is in fact the watermill beating the whole facet of humanity. Watermill beating time, conquering darkness. So this is a rotation, darkness leading to light. Okay? Ultimately leading to darkness. I can continue. So every time when you believe that you are in the world which is promising enough, you put yourself, you clamp, you have, I use a definite term to understand that you have a change over. You create a tent, okay? Tent is the only good image for the real significance of the transfer of life, because tents are never permanent. They are always temporarily encouraging, okay? The moving army puts the tent wherever it goes, and then unplants it, moves it. So we believe that this is our house, we are not going to leave it, parental, most unfortunate. We are all travelers, we have clamped our tents here. Any gush of wind will come, not forbidden, not the journey, and it is uprooted. Look for a new place, green meadow, which promises you witness, new life. This is symbolic of one religious order, the faith in the mind, changing into another religious order. This is the kind of trust. And this journey remains incomplete. Look at the last one. It says that, dear God, I should be glad for another death. Why should we be? He never says that I shall be unhappy if another death comes. If another death comes, understand, I shall be happy enough because I shall enter a new order. Okay? And new order is new life. New order is new generation, regeneration, revival, no dampening effects, no death, no wasteland-like conditions. The infertility is conquered here because there is witness in the grass, there is meadows all over, and there is always a mysterious figure crossing before your eyes, riding a white horse. Who was he? He came and he disappeared. He crossed the whole green meadows. It seems that the traveler is attracted by this image, mysterious image, and he runs to that spot looking for the hoof marks of the horse. This is in fact the traveler moving to the place where Christ was. It's locating the place where Christ put his steps. Where Christ put his steps. So it is something like a mysterious horse passing through a green meadow, disappearing, and then the circle after that identity of the horse is looking for the steps in the meadow. So the three travelers are also moving in a void where infinitely they have traveled most artworks with great difficulty. We have seen the traveling was very troublesome. Okay, throats were dry, and so the images were girls offering sort of and the natural also. So it begins with Christian philosophy of this travel of life, beginning from physical birth, ending into physical death, but metaphysical existence of humanity, transcending the limitations. Green patches are always there, green meadows are always there, white spots are always there, up before your eyes. Try to catch glimpses of it, hold it, how long you can in the matter of sentence. And one thing definitely is that another death will come. Let us be glad for the another death. Let us be happy for the another death. Let us wait for the death. Look at it. It's the final death. What is that? Final death is not the death that comes to you and me. Final death is the death of humanity. Mind it. Will it ever come? Probably not. So long, Christ is born and Christ died. So long Christ is crucified and Christ resurrects. The final death will never come. But we have to wait for the final death because that is the ultimate reality we are looking for. Do you get it? So the poem is looking for the ultimate image of life and the significance of death. So the final death we are looking for. Maybe my final death will come. At a point of time, your final death will come. At a point of time. But ultimately the final death of humanity will come infinitely unknowable. It's infinitely unknowable, and yet we are trying to know. This is in fact entering into different world orders of faith, changing one to another, another to another. There is no end to it because the ultimate crisis constantly remains over there as to what will happen to life ending into death. When this is death. But one thing is clear that we should be glad for another. As Eliot is glad to enter a new world order of religious faith, okay? This has come because of his death. So Eliot died in his old order. He entered a new order of faith. He said, let us wait for now. Let us wait for now. This is in fact the most promising of them. I think this is the end of our discussion on faith. Yeah. So we shall continue now. I was told that there is going to be a change in the timetable, and probably you will be meeting on the 4 days. Time has also please take note of it. Accordingly, you set our. Let me know which are the other
Yes.
Yet